Hillary! Hello, it's Uncle Jim, and my son just came back from the thrift store, and a lot of you guys like these type videos, the thrift store deal videos, so here we go. Okay, so the first item of the day is this retro strongbox. It just looks cool, and it definitely looks old, and it's got all these neat shapes and everything in it. No key, but it does open. So there you go. He paid $5, and I would have paid $5. It's just a cool looking box. All right. Item number 2 is a rangefinder. It's an El Cheapo rangefinder. Okay. I don't even know what model this is. Well, I'm not going to get my glasses out for that. Anyway, had batteries in it. He tested it out. So far, we've checked it for 300 yards, and it works. It works great, even though it's a cheapo. 300 yards so far, $20. Okay, that's a little rich, but where are you going to get a rangefinder for $20? I don't know. Works great, looks great. Okay, item number 3. My son bought this kind of as a joke. It was super cheap. They just wanted it out of here. We have some, it looks like formed 300 blackout brass, and there's some 556 in there. LC. Oh, there's another one. I was gonna say we found a live round in there. Oops. And a 9mm. Now we have 2 rounds. So what we're gonna, and it looks like the guy was shooting suppressed and casted his own bullets, because there's a chunk of lead right here. Okay, it looks like a project disaster, but here at the Uncle Jim test facility, we're gonna dissect and do some I'll never get through this. Forensic stuff on this and that one. See if they fit in the gauge, all that fun stuff. Take it apart, weigh the bullet, all that. It feels like it's maybe up to a 200 grain bullet there. Yeah. That will be at the end of the video. Now for the jewel find of the day. Okay, before we get to the jewel of the day, the jewel of the day is a shotgun barrel, and it's worth a lot more than he paid for it, and we'll talk about that. But in the past, we got this Mossberg 535 with chokes, super cheap at the thrift store, and it's got the fiber optic sights, and we're going to modify this to fit Sunshine. Okay, we just got to move this lug a little bit, and that's going to be a fun video. It came with extra chokes, and I think we paid $15 for it. Okay, but you just wait. All right, well, let's set this down so I don't have to edit. The other thing is this Enfield 1917 30-06 barrel, $1, and it has this weird muzzle device. It's perfect threading on here, perfect. And what's really neat about this, and it's legal length and everything, but the bore is pristine. I couldn't believe it. So the inside looks a lot better than the outside. And before Kenny got big and busy, I was going to throw that at him to thread it to something. But, you know, the shank here. But anyway, the metal is worth $1. This was $1, and it's got a beautiful bore on it. It's amazing, and somebody threaded that. I don't understand the muzzle brake thing. Whatever. All right, let's get to the jewel. Okay, so now for the jewel of the day. But first, he picked up this harp at the thrift store last week, super cheap. You can actually forge his own, and in the last video, I had to learn how to play it. It took me about 5 minutes to get her down. It's kind of funky, and so there's that. So we got that at the thrift store. Okay, now this is the jewel of the day. a Beretta shotgun barrel. And you guys know Beretta stuff ain't cheap. And here's the cool part. It was $15 and it's ported and has a choke in it. That's probably $15 right there, just the choke. So it's already got a choke in it. It's got some really nice looking porting on it. Okay. And this is probably the worst side. It's just got a tiny bit of flecking, which will come off with steel wool and 4/0 steel wool and oil. And it looks to be chrome lined. Okay. So I had to write down the model here. And it goes to the AL1, AL2, 301, 302, 303, B80. And here's the kind of neat thing. It's a 24-inch. So I looked on eBay, and they have two right now, and they're both 28-inch. This is really handy. And you have the choke in there already. And the ones on eBay, the 28-inchers, to me, this is way more handy if you're turkey hunting or whatever. The ones on eBay right now is $234 plus shipping, you know, $18. And the other one is $350 plus shipping. Same barrel, 28-inch, non-ported. This one is ported. Now, you shotgun aficionados or Beretta guys, I'm not a Beretta guy, so I don't know. Is that factory porting? It looks like it because it's oval. You will see at the bottom of the lug here, that's got an oval. And it's dirty. This is just how we got it. It's going to clean up beautiful. The bore is beautiful. It's chrome lined. It just looks like it was shot without being cleaned. $15. Okay? So, my son always has a good eye for value. And as a matter of fact, we talked about this on the live chat. He picked this up at the thrift store. This is an A2 stock. It's got some fingerprints on it. No cleaning kit in the back, but it has the tube. And it came with the grip without the finger groove, which I like better. He got all of this for $10. Okay, and this is with the tube. All it needs is a buffer and a spring. So what I told him to do is flip this sucker right here, because we don't have a Beretta, and put it towards your project on, he wants a cop. What he wants to do is like a cop AR with the number stencil on here. He likes his lucky number is 8. So either 08 or 88, he's going to stencil an 88 on here, just like it's on the rack for the cops or the military. And that's going to be his next project. He's kind of thinking 308. I'm trying to talk him out of it on the AR, but this is going to help finance that. He's going to flip this sucker. Even if he gets whatever, it's going to go towards this. So there's that. Okay, so let's go back to item number 3. My son bought this for Dad's amusement. He knew I would get amused by checking this out. So I think he paid $2, which is a lot of money for what it is. But there was a live round in here and a 9mm, which we will pull, and a piece of lead. So let's do some forensics. Obviously, the guy casted his own. Now, there is some 5.56 in here. It's all Lake City. And I'll check and see if it's usable. It doesn't look like it was used much at all. Anyway, it turns out, here's that 9mm. It turns out there's 3 One, two, no, there's 4 rounds in here. Oops. And we're going to do some forensics on this. It doesn't look like my type of quality control, but we'll see. It looks like it's been sitting a long time. It's kind of corroded. So I think, okay, so what I'm gonna do is do a close-up on these. Ooh, that's wobbly. Is the primer sticking out? Yeah, it is. I would definitely not shoot this guy's ammo. Never shoot someone else's reloads, especially if it looks like that. All right, let's do a close-up here and we'll talk about it. All right, so let's do a close-up and forensics on this ammo. My son definitely knows his dad because this was worth the price of admission and keeping the monkey entertained. All right, so the lead that was in here feels like it's pretty hard, okay? And these are definitely subsonic 300 blackouts that we found in here. Now, a couple of them are wobbly. The primers are sticking out a little bit. This one actually has a little dimple in it. It could be the way he was priming. Was he trying to shove something into a staked primer pocket? I don't know. Now, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because it was in a coffee can, and that's usually your sign, all right? Walk away if someone puts their ammo in a coffee can, especially when it gets rusty. All right, so we'll do a couple close-ups here, and we'll check it in the gauge. It's pretty grody, so I'm going to have to, oh, look at this one. I'm going to have to clean this before I even contaminate my gauge for 300 blackout. All right, so on this one, we have a little lead coming over the side, which is bad, 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 and maybe a slight bulge. So we'll pull the bullet and see what it is. I'm wondering if this is the dreaded Lee 230 grain baffle killer in suppressors because they tumble often, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, we have a couple primers, and they're different primers. All right, that looks like an S&B or a Winchester there. The first one was probably a Federal. And let me clean these up, and I'll put them in the gauge here, and then we'll pull the bullet, weigh the bullet, see what mold it was. I'm thinking the dreaded Lee, and we'll go from there. 9mm I'm pulling also. There's no way you ever want to shoot someone's reloads, especially when you see stuff like that. Okay, sorry for the bad lighting. It could be backlight, whatever. So now we're going to check them in the gauge. I wiped them down with a rag. They felt like they had Tumblelube on the bullets. They were sticky. And we'll see how they fit in the gauge. Now, I'm going to give this guy the benefit of the doubt. This could have been his jar of shame bullets and rounds and brass. I don't know if it was his jar of shame or this is how he reloads, okay? All right, so we're doing this together. I haven't checked these yet. Wiped them down with the rag, and we'll check them in the gauge. And that one is a big no. No. Yeah, that is a big no-no. Okay, that's one. Okay, this one went in, but it went too far. It's below the min-max. Okay, but it went in. Didn't have a clump of lead on the neck. My son just knows how to get the monkey so funny. Jollies. All right, that one falls right in the gauge, except for it's a little low. It's below the minimum. So when he sized his brass, it wasn't correct. I'll probably have to chuck all this brass, but I won't know until I clean it and size it. Once you go too far, it's too bad. Oh, this one was the one with the chunk of lead on the case mouth right there. And of course, that's not going to go all the way in unless you push it in. Now, once you push it in, he's still a little bit below minimum, so he set his sizer wrong. All rejects. Okay, now that could have been from his jar of shame. Now let's go pull the bullets and see what actual bullet this is. I'm thinking it might be the Lee, but I haven't looked. All right, let's pull a couple. We're going to use the Uncle Jim Prairie Dog that Broke Loader gave the nickname to. That was funny, Broke Loader. You got to love him. And now we're going to pull two of them, and we'll see what the weight is and what bullet this is, okay? All right, here we go. Oh, yeah, didn't have much crimp at all. Oh, there's, this is the Lee. That is the Lee. It's got a little bow tail, and it's got powder stuck to the base. All right. Let's do one more, and we'll see what they weigh. I'm pretty sure it's the Lee 230. The Suppressor Killer. Oh yeah, they come out really easy. Oops. Yeah, and there's powder stuck, and it's got a bow tail. Why they put a bow tail on a 300 Blackout Subsonic, I will never know. Lee needs to make a new mold. I don't know who designed that, but they're stupid. All right. All right, now we're going to weigh the bullets and the powder charges. So that's definitely the Lee Tumbler. 224.5 grains. 222.5 grains. Oof. Okay, so his casting's a little off here. It could have been his Hall of Shame. Also, they're very sticky. We lost some powder on the base of the bullets here. And I'm looking inside. I don't know if I can show you this. I got such bad lighting. I'm looking at the volume inside, so we'll test that next. We'll weigh that, but we do have sticky, icky tumble lube, and it'll stick to the side, so I can't get a perfect measurement here. All right. Okay, there's so much gooey, sticky tumble lube in there, it's almost impossible to get the powder out. There's powder stuck to the sides. I don't think I can get it all out here. We'll do 2 measurements, and they'll be shy because some of it's stuck to the case. All right, this is what the powder looks like. Okay. Not 100% sure unless I go into my powder cabinet and compare. I'm not going to do that today. I'm tired. All right. All right, we got George Jetson here, and he is zeroed, so let's see what we got here. This would give us a hint of what powder he used. 7.2 grains. All right, there's a lot stuck to the bullet. There's a lot stuck to the casing. So let's call it 7.5, 7.8 grains. Wow. What the hell? Okay, let's try another. All right, I tried as hard as I could to get the powder out of this case, but there's so much stickiness from lube. Use powder coat, people. So here's the next one. I pounded the crap out of this thing, and there's still powder stuck in there, lots of it. I got 8.0 grains on this one. And that's about the same amount of tapping out as the other, so it's a cluster. Okay, all right. Okay, I poured them back, and I don't know if you can see this or not, but there's not much volume in there. So I think the guy was trying to be really quiet and he was looking for love in all the wrong places. That is not how it's done, people. But I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, okay? Maybe it was his jar of shame. I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, tell me what you think. Thanks for watching.